They call you judgmental. They say you're too blunt. They twist your honesty into cruelty. But deep down, you know what's really going on. You're the mirror. And when people ain't ready to face their own reflection, they'll shatter the mirror before they ever look at themselves. This episode is for the truth tellers, the cycle breakers, and the ones who keep getting attacked for just being honest. Hey, Soul Family, it's Sharitha, and this is the Powerfully You podcast. This space is for the emotionally wounded and spiritually curious, for the ones who are tired of shrinking to make other people feel comfortable, tired of being punished for having a good heart, tired of feeling like the enemy just because you see what nobody else wants to talk about. Today, we're talking about what it really feels like to be the mirror and the pain of being attacked when all you're trying to do is tell the truth. You ain't the villain, you just see too much. Let's be real. There's a special kind of pain that comes with being right, but hated for it. You say something real, and suddenly you're too harsh. You name a pattern, and now you're starting drama. You hold a boundary, and they call you controlling. You speak up, and now you're the problem. But the truth is, you see through the fog. You don't pretend. You don't sugarcoat. You don't enable the lies to keep the peace for what? And that makes you dangerous in a world addicted to denial. Because most people don't want healing, they want comfort. Most people don't want clarity, they want control. And when you show up with honesty, it threatens the whole identity they built on avoiding the truth. The guilt of being a mirror. And here's where it gets personal. You start asking yourself, am I too much? Maybe I should have kept my mouth shut. Why does everybody take me the wrong way? You start doubting your delivery. Even when you know your intention was love, you start silencing yourself to avoid the next blow up. You start shrinking, not because you believe you're wrong, but because you're tired of being misunderstood. But listen, being the mirror doesn't mean you're responsible for how other people react. It just means you're reflecting back what already exists. And if that makes them feel uncomfortable, that is not your burden to carry. You weren't attacking them, you were showing them something they didn't want to see. And they mistook truth for violence because nobody ever taught them how to hold themselves accountable without grumbling. Truth is a sacred disruption. Let's flip this. What if your honesty is holy? What if your clarity is a gift? And what if your role as a mirror is part of your calling? Because sometimes love doesn't sound like affirmation. Sometimes love sounds like this ain't working. This behavior is not okay. You're hurting people. I love you too much to let you keep lying to yourself. And you know what? That's not cruel. That's courage. That's not arrogance. That's accountability. That's not superiority. That's a soul level leadership. So if you're being called too honest, too intense, too direct, maybe you're exactly who this world needs. Devil's advocate. But can't you say it nicer? Now let's pause. Somebody probably thinking, well, maybe people wouldn't be so defensive if you delivered that message with more compassion. Fair, that matters. Tone matters, timing matters. But let's not pretend that people reject truth because it's how you said it. They reject truth because it confronts the story they're addicted to. You could whisper it with rose petals and lavender oil, and they'll still call it an attack. Why? Because they're they're not at war with your tone. They're at war with the reality. And you, the mirror, just walked into the room with too much light. Reflective moment. Ask yourself, let's sit with this for a second. What truth about others have I been punished for naming? What part of me still feels guilty for being the mirror? When was the first time someone made me feel bad for being honest? Who in my life treats truth like an attack, and how does that affect my peace? What would it look like to keep telling the truth without carrying their reactions? Breathe. Feel it. This ain't easy work, but it's real work. Final soul truth. You weren't born to be liked. You were born to be free. You were born to be clear. You were born to be the one who sees, even when it makes people uncomfortable. Because in a world addicted to denial, your truth is medicine. Your medicine don't always taste sweet, but it heals. So don't shrink. Don't second guess your soul. You're not being mean. You're being real. And real love tells the truth even when the world ain't ready to hear it. If this episode stirs something in you, if it reminds you that you're not crazy, you're not cruel, you're not too much, but clear, then hold on to the truth. You don't have to apologize for being in the mirror. You don't have to carry their reactions to the light. You just got to keep standing in it with love, with boundaries, and with your soul intact. You were never the problem for telling the truth. You were the answer they just weren't ready for. Until next time, stay rooted, stay real, and stay powerfully